Okay, question 9. The graph of f of x equals 0.5 x squared plus mx plus n passes through point A and the origin. The axis of symmetry of the graph is x equals -5. Part A. State the domain of f of x. So first, what is domain? Domain simply means the set of all possible values of x. Okay, so let's look at the function f of x equals 0.5 times x squared plus mx plus n. Okay, now let's think. What is the restriction on x? Can x be a negative number? Like, can we substitute like x equals -2 into this function? Yes, we can, right? Or we can substitute 0, x equals 0 into the function. Or we may substitute x is a positive number into the function, right? So there is actually no restriction on x. That means the domain of f of x is the set of all real numbers. Okay? Okay, part B. Find the values of a, m, and n. So for part B, we have different methods. So here I present two common methods that we may use. Okay. So first, the easiest part is to find n. Okay. So why I say n is the easiest part, because n is a constant term in the function, right? In a quadratic function. Okay, and we know this constant term, it actually had a special meaning. This n actually stands for the y-intercept. Okay, you can see the notes or the remarks on the right hand side. So constant term is actually the y-intercept. So we can say since, okay, from the graph you can see the parabola actually cuts the y-axis at 0, right? So since y-intercept is 0, okay, so that means n is 0. Okay, so first we find n. N is 0. Now, how about a and m? Okay, we may apply the second remark. We know x equals -b over 2a is the axis of symmetry. And from the question, we know the axis of symmetry is x equals -5. So that means -5 equals -b over 2a. And what is b? What is a? B is positive m. A is just 0.5. So 2 times 0.5 is 1. Equals -b. So b is equal to 5. Sorry. B is m. M. So m is equal to 5. Okay, now we've got m. How about a? Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, we know m is 5. We know n is 0. So that means the function is f of x equals 0.5 x squared plus 5x plus 0. Okay, so now we know point A, it is the intersection point between the parabola and x-axis, right? How to find A? We can let y be 0, then we can solve the equation. So let y, let f of x be 0. Let y be 0. Then we have 0 equals 0.5x squared plus 5x. Now we can solve this equation. We first multiply both sides by 2. Okay, then we have integer. And then we can take out x. So x will be 0 or x equals -10. Okay, so what does that mean? That means the x-intercept will be 0 and -10, right? But we know the parabola already passes through the origin. So that means a is equal to -10. This is method 1. Method 2. For n, still the same. Since y-intercept is 0, so therefore n equals 0. Okay. However, now we first find the value of a. Okay, how do we do that? So let's look at the graph. You can see this is a parabola, right? The parabola is actually symmetrical about the axis of symmetry. And we know the axis of symmetry is just x equals -5. So here, this is -5. Okay, since the parabola is symmetrical about the axis of symmetry x equals -5, that means the x-coordinate of point A and the x plus the x-coordinate of the origin over 2 is equal to -5. This, we can write this, since the graph is symmetrical about x equals -5, then we have a plus 0 over 2 equals -5. Therefore, a equals -10. Okay, so that means point A is, the coordinates of A are -10, 0. Okay, now we have got A, the last value is m, right? We know the graph passes through point A, so that means we can substitute. By substituting A equals -10, 0 into f of x, then we have 0 equals 0.5 times -10 bracket square plus m times -5. Then we can find out m. So m will be 5 eventually. Okay, so this is method 2. Okay, part C. Rewrite f of x in the vertex form. First, let me rewrite f of x. F of x equals 0.5x squared plus 5x. Okay, so now we have to rewrite the f of x in vertex form. The first step, make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. So we take out 0.5. X squared plus what? 0.5 times 10 is 5, right? We get this. Now what should we do? Now you want to make a perfect square. So you give a number, you add a number, and then you minus a number. But what number should you add and minus? Okay, you look at this number, 10. You add a number. The number is this number 10 over 2 bracket square. Okay, so 10 over 2 is 5. So you add 5 square minus 5 square. Okay. Then for this part, these three terms, they can form a perfect square. So we have x plus 5 bracket square minus 25. Okay. The last step, you distribute 0.5 into the bracket. Then you have equals 0.5 times x plus 5 bracket square minus 0.5 times 25 is 25 over 2. Okay, you may write in terms of fraction. 1 over 2